Good morning, everyone. It is early morning. Not sure what time it is. I ever know what time it is, but I'm home alone. Yes, so I'm not constricted with time. I just do whatever I want. I don't have to be quiet or can't get up as early as I want to because I have somebody else here that snoozes still. And then you want to be respectful, right? Yes. Anywho, I thought about something this morning with my last video. I wonder, Genesis 13, where God's, well, if you do this or that, then I'm going to, and I don't, it's almost as if somehow it always sounds like a threat, right? The way it's written down, it kind of comes across that. And I've never experienced God like that. Maybe at that time he had it to be in a different way or have things come across in a different way because he knew that was the best thing for his children, right? Like we're telling our kids when they're little, I'm telling you what, if you do it this way, it's probably going to be good. Yeah? If you do it, if you don't listen, you're going to get hurt or something, right? Yeah, but again, it's almost as if one is forced into believing, right? Otherwise things don't go well or something. I've never understood how anyone could become of a part of a cult, a kind of a destructive cult where, you know, you, anyone with a sense of something, right, knows, well, that can't be right. Yeah, that just can't be right. Then how do people get so enthralled and so addicted to someone else's ideology of something, right? That is just absolutely wrong. It just doesn't make any sense when you look in as a outsider, right? And see the destruction that, or again, they look like, oh, well, they're happy communities, but yet, are they really happy? Is this, and on how children often are treated, right? And the agendas of the leaders of these cults and stuff. Yeah, you just go, oh, oof. And I thought that then all these other things that are happening around the world, where you have to just say, wow, have we really not evolved any higher than this? When it comes to our heart to mind, we haven't. Hmm. Have we really not? It's questionable. So, trying to understand the Bible a little different rather than uh, continuously kind of disregard, even in the Bible, inconsistencies, not on how the people lived or what they did, but on how God is in it. Our Heavenly Father, our Heavenly Parent, and how He's depicted in these stories, right? Yes? Now, for me, having since a child, can't spirit world's always been a part of me. Oh, all figured out this, that. Well, no, there's not really a class out there when you have that kind of talent. You kind of have to uh, make it through it on your own, and hopefully that wherever the guidance comes from spirit world, that you're kind of stay on that path. So, okay, so spiritual existence or the existence of God, for me, that's not a question. Okay. And maybe, as time will go on, more people have, and I think everyone can have that kind of relationship, eh, with the afterlife, if you want to call it that. Yet, is that, in a way, we're, ever since the Garden of Eden, it isn't physically that we needed to evolve anymore, because we were evolved physically, done, taken care of. It's spiritually, right, that we kept evolving. And I wonder if at this time, yep, people who have connection to the spirit world, right, and acknowledge God as the creator, those are the ones who have truly continuously evolved as human beings, right? Yeah. Anywho, not saying I'm better than other people, but definitely I know that I look at many things in a very different way, and I have to be very careful that I'm not being sucked into something that I full well know, but that's not right. Then if I take one of the Ten Commandments and I want to twist it so that, but that's what's needed right now, and I'm gonna have to allow certain things that bypass a certain commandment because it's for the safety of others, it's for the safety of myself. Then again, what am I doing? What's the next thing that I will have to bend? I find it interesting. We have the Constitution, and there are all these bylaws that go with it, right? Where we have the amendments, right? Just like we have the Ten Commandments, we have all these amendments, right? But then with every amendment, there are all these bylaws that go with it. And there's more and more and more and more, right? That go with it. And they're all excuses somehow, right? If they're not to clarify an amendment, right? I mean, everybody can read, everybody has a brain to process what it says, right? But because, but this amendment, we need it needs to be, it's not fitting, with what we want to do, not with what we should do, with what we want to do, right? Yes? So, okay, is that funny? Well, no, it's not funny. And then Ten Commandments, we do exactly the same thing. Well, if you just tell white lies, a white lie is okay. Really? Well, because again, sometimes a white lie saves some heartache for someone. Right? Yes? Well, the one. All right. I have this one where well, nobody asks. I'm just not going to say anything. But if they ask, I have to tell the truth. That's another one, right? Two, it really, in a way. So that's, as I said, we evolve. We not just obey the Ten Commandments. We're not just acknowledging the amendments, right? In our Constitution, we evolve with them, right? We should, in a way, evolve with them. Well, then, does that mean that then you just put them bylaws in, that you then just make excuses for certain things when it comes to the Ten Commandments? No, it's to understand them, right? And how they were given, with the intent of on how they were given, right? Yeah, not to change them, not to find excuses for them, not to, right? But to understand better and better. No, you don't. White lies are not. White lies are still lies. To not tell the truth because you weren't asked is still not telling the truth, right? Yes, yeah. All right. Okay. Oh, my glasses are nice and clean now. I like that. So let's get to Genesis 14. The campaign of the four great kings. Oh. Ugh. The campaign of the four great kings. I don't have much for kings and queens and emperors and all that jazz. I just not. To me, that doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. Yeah. What are we eventually in spirit world? we'll all be in spirit world in our rawest form. Right? There's nothing. You will not be able to hide nothing. Right? It won't matter how much money you had here on earth or how little you had. Right? And for whatever reason that is. Yeah? Or the station that you had for one reason or another. Or didn't have. Right? Things you wanted but didn't get yet you felt you deserved. It won't matter. You're going to be in the absolute raw form in spirit world. Right? It's going to be just you. And what you actually really are. Right? And with whatever you've built up here. Or destroyed. Or it'll just be. There won't be. You won't be able to cover a thing anymore. And of course, all your merits. You will leave here. Out one? Yes. All your merits go to your descendants. Whoever's still somehow connected to you. You leave those here for them. Now you want to take those with you, don't you? So you look a little better, right? Well, you see, but did I just tell you? It doesn't work that way. And as a parent, I hope, and a grandparent, I hope that I leave a lot of merit behind for my children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren even to draw from if they need that, right? Yes? Every person is born with a certain amount of merit. Some have very little. You know why that is? Huh? Because their ancestors didn't accumulate any. Then what are you going to have here? Right? Well, family is important, isn't it? Blood lineage is important. They say blood's thicker than water. Huh? Is that just a saying? It's not true. Okay. See, when you actually get into, oh, hey, well, that's what's out there. Yeah. Family is important. That's the closest to you. All right, for the ones that do have. Some don't. So you have not. If you were abandoned as a child, never really had a family, so you have no merit. Well, yeah. That just depends. Again, right? Yes. May have had a really good ancestor who actually now you inherit because you have a difficult path in life. And again, are you going to deplete that even more? Or are you going to add to the merit, regardless of how hard your life is? Right? Yes? Yeah. I'm not talking here about, well then, abuse of children is never, that's a whole other kind of thing. Jesus gave us the warning in the Bible, and the warning is there. Huh? The warning is there. The consequences of your own self-destruction in many ways. All right. Well, a lot too heavy, huh? Too much. I know. Too hard for people to understand, and I'm not getting it. The campaign of the four great kings. 14, Genesis. Here go those names again. When Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elazar. I have never heard of Amraphel, king of Shinar, yet he was one of the four great kings. Arioch, king of Elazar, never heard of him either. Chedor Laomer, king of Elam, no idea. And title king of the Goyim, 2 eyes. King of the Goyim, like Hawaii. Goyim. Well, there's another word, Goiim, that has a double I. Just in case you need it. A puzzle or something. Made war on Bera, king of Sodom. Oh, Bersha, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Admah, Shemeber, king of, oh, here's another one, Seboim. Boim. Seboim. It has two I's as well. Zeboiim. And the king of Bela, that is Soar. All the later joined forces in the valley of Siddim, now the Salt Sea. For 12 years they had been under the yoke of Chedor Laomer, but in the 13th year they revolted. In the 14th year, Chedor Laomer... Okay, wait a minute. How many kings are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. And they made war on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A lot of kings here. Holy cow. Maybe that meant something different at that time. Just leaders of armies. But in the 13th year they revolted. Wait. For 12 years they had been under the yoke of... All right. But in the 13th year they revolted. In the 14th year, Chedor Laomer arrived, and the kings who had allied themselves with him. They defeated the Rephaim at Ashtaroth, Karnaim, the Zuzim at Ham, and the Emim in the plain of Kiriathaim. The Horites in the mountainous district of Seir, near El Paran, which is on the edge of the desert. Wheeling round, they came to the spring of judgment, that is Kadesh. Kadesh. I always liked that word, Kadesh. They conquered all the territory of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites, who lived in Hazazon Tamar. Then the kings of Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, Seboim, and Bela, that is Zoar, marched out and engaged them in the valley of Siddim. Chedor Laomer, king of Elam, title king of the Goim, Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elazar, 4 kings against 5. Just told you that. Now there were many bitumen. Bitcoins. Bitumen. Bitcoins. I wonder if they got that out of the Bible. Couldn't come up with another word. Interesting. I'm just saying. Now there were many bitumen wells in the valley of Siddim, and in their flight, not fight, flight, the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fell into them, while the rest fled into the hills. The conqueror seized all the possessions of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their provisions and made off. They also took Lot, the nephew of Abram, and his possessions, and made off. He had been living at Sodom. Oh, wait a minute. So, I know there are more stories. See, that's Genesis now, right? There's all these different books in it where the stories get retold again. Well, how do we know mostly the story of Sodom and Gomorrah? Well, we'll get to that, right? Then we'll remember this part. Because according to this part in Genesis, at the beginning of the Bible, Sodom and Gomorrah wasn't destroyed by God. It looks like there's a war, right? Yes, that's what it sounds like. And Lot was taken away with all his stuff. They also took Lot, the nephew of Abram, and his possessions, and made off. He had been living at Sodom. I thought he lived outside of Sodom. I guess he moved into the city. Ew. Well, interesting. Was that the end of Sodom and Gomorrah? Oh. Well, anywho, a survivor came to tell Abram and honor the Hebrew who was living at the oak of the Amorite Mamre. Mamre? Mamre. That sounds interesting. Mamre. It's an interesting word. The brother of Eshcol, these were allies of Abram. When Abram heard that his kinsmen had been taken captive, he mustered his retainers born in his own household, numbering 318. What? Wait. What happened? When Abram heard that his kinsmen had been taken captive, he mustered his retainers born in his own household, numbering 318, and gave chase as far as Dan. Oh, he and his retainers deployed against them under cover of dark, defeated them, and pursued them as far as Hobah, north of Damascus. He recaptured all the goods as well as his kinsman Lot and his possessions, together with the women and people. Now, how the heck did he do that with 318 people? And here there were how many? Oh, who took him? The conquerors. How many people were there fighting that Abram was able to get everybody back, plus the possessions, plus everything else, with 318 people? Were they fighting a war with what? 5 kings and four kings against 5 kings, and vice versa? With what? 50 people or something? 100 people? That's a weird one. Well, anyway, just saying. Right? I mean, I wonder about stuff like that. All right, so he got him back. Now, did he stick around or did he go back? I mean, Sodom and Gomorrah is destroyed. Is it? Well, let's go find out. Melchizedek. 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 Whatever. When Abram returned from defeat, one would like to know how to say it properly. They're all letters put together that, in different languages you can, of course there's only one, but it'd be nice. It'd be nice to know how to spell that. But anyway. So forgive me if anybody actually is a Hebrew or knows Hebrew for my ignorance here. When Abram returned from defeating Chedor, Laomer, and the kings who had been on his side, I said 318 men. Obviously not kings with a whole lot of people or soldiers. I see, it all started somewhere with a few. The greed of men. I just don't get it. Or the need to just, gosh, yeah. I'd rather men learn how to grow vegetables and so much easier. Just pick up a weapon and go and hit someone than to actually grow something. That would take patience. Well, anyway, it's what it is. But we can all see it started right in the beginning in Genesis. We have this beautiful story to begin with of the 6 days of creation, and it was all good. We're just on chapter 14, and they're already into it. Huh? They're already into it. Oh my gosh. Dear me. It didn't take them long. All right, all right, all right. Daniela, just read. That's hard to read. So frustrating. Well, what did you say before? Spiritually, they were growing, yeah. Under very, very bad guidance somehow. Influenced. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, that archangel did a lot more than just tempt Eve and Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Spiritual, I'm telling you, there's right there. A lot more went on there. All right, let's see. Coffee. I've been on espresso this morning. That's a good thing, cup of coffee. Thank you, Father. The king, defeating the kings who had been on his side. The king of Sodom came to meet him in the valley of Shaveh. That is the valley of the king. Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought bread and wine. He was a priest of God Most High. Wait a minute. Where did that dude come from now? He's not over here. Nope. That's another king. Maybe the head of every household, when you had your tribe, was a king, was called a king at that time. Did they really have the word king? Making sure they're the leader. All right, all right. Häuptling. All right. And he was a priest of God Most High. He didn't fight. He wasn't in that fight. He pronounced this blessing. Blessed be Abram by God Most High, creator of heaven and earth, and blessed by God Most High for putting your enemies into your clutches. That's a man-made thing again, right there. All right, Daniel. And Abram gave him a tenth of of everything. Payment. All right, all right. I don't know if that sounds as okay. It's just this is so classic right here. It's just so classic on how easily one gets corrupted and uses God and God's word in a way as well, or the goodwill of God, the ideal that God had in mind for humankind, the species man, on how it just got abused already here. Right? Oh, you guys don't see that? You can't hear that? I can. And well, anyway, let's read the rest. And Abram gave him a tenth of everything. Okay. Payment. I know what they say about, well, you give because that's then blessed, this, that. I'm going, by whom? We just got that. Look at this. This is where it started with that. And Abram gave him, he blessed him, this, that, and as payment for the blessing. Well, let's buy our way into heaven. Woo-hoo-hoo. That's what, right there. That it all started. The king of Sodom said to Abram, give me the people and take the possessions for yourself. Oh, that's interesting. But Abram replied to the king of Sodom, I swear by God Most High, creator of heaven and earth, not one thread, not one sandal strap will I take of what is yours, for you to be able to say, I made Abram rich. What the heck? What was that? We got to read this again. I missed something here in the. And Abram gave him a tenth of everything. The king of Sodom said to Abram, give me the people and take the possessions for yourself. But Abram replied to the king of Sodom, I swear by God Most High, creator of heaven and earth, not one thread, not one sandal strap will I take of what is yours, for you to be able to say, I made Abram rich. Oh, 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 and here is the, for myself, nothing except what the troops have used up, and the share due to the men who came with me, Eshcol, Aner, and Mamre. Let them take their share. Are you guys realizing what's happening here already? Right? The wheeling and dealing. The king of Sodom. And I have to give it to Abram. Not all of it is bad, right? Now I have to give it to Abram. Abram didn't take the bait, right? In particular for that. Right? Why did he have to give the king of Sodom anything? Why would he do that? It doesn't say. Why? Oh. Let's see that one more time. Did I miss something here? Oh, that was that other king, that Melchizedek, right? Oh, okay. Well, back up. I regress, as ABL would say. That was that king. That's what started there, okay? And then the king of Sodom wanted something too, and he said, there isn't, yep, let's make a deal here too, kind of thing. And Abram resisted, already knowing that that's probably not going to be a good thing, right? Okay. Good and evil, in a way, kind of pulling at each other, right? But in what way is it done? And how's God pulled into it? Right? God cannot be a part of any kind of conflict. It's just not possible. People may think so, but it isn't. When we pray to God about certain things, we have to make an effort first, right? And the effort isn't just by praying. The effort is also by, okay, if I want something in my life to go better, I can't just pray and wait for it to happen. There has to be more. Right? There has to be a physical component, not just a spiritual one. So you're going to have to make that first step. Sometimes, even if it doesn't even have anything to do with what is going on in your life, right? And you're praying for something, say, you want more money. I wish I had more money. Well, if you don't come up with something, right, that then in a way you could make more money, that then God could bless you and be successful with it. And guess why? Not going to happen, right? There's this good joke where a vagabond, a clochard, a homeless person, he had had some money, I guess, or with whatever he got from the people, he would no, wait a minute. He wouldn't. He was praying every day. Let me win the lottery. Let me win the lottery every day. Finally had enough. Said, well, I prayed and prayed and prayed now for I don't know how long, years, this now, to win the lottery. An angel came to him and said, We've been trying. We've really been trying. But you got to go and buy a lottery ticket. Oh, right? The good one? First time I heard that one, that cracked me up so bad. There's certain jokes I keep in my mind all the, I mean, that stay with me. Most of them I forget. It's not worth it to repeat. But there are some. It's just that's kind of how it is. Yes. Anywho, all right. Well, that's it for this morning. So God can't be a part of conflict. Goes against the laws of heaven. People need to know. They should understand that by now. That God can't have any kind of give and take with negativity. God can't have any kind of give and take in any way with sin. It's not. Then why do you believe in heaven? That would make sense. You got to make sense out of your beliefs. So, also never found in all my life experiencing spirit world in one form or another that God in any way or good spirit world has never conveyed a feeling of revenge or hatred or dissatisfaction. Not to say that there isn't a certain amount of frustration, right? But you can't be frustrated and go, "Ah, dear me," yet you're still on the side of the positive. You know what I mean? You can't be sad, right? Sadness just stirs your heart in a way where that's not, then you're not, doesn't mean you have to go out and then do something bad. Sadness is an expression of true sympathy and empathy. That's what that is. Sympathy and empathy are good words, both of them. But there's no place for either word when they're attached to something negative. Vengeance. Right? Violence. Right? Yes? So there's a difference. There's a difference. We have evolved in language as well. So some of the things in here, surely they were revised, this not, because some of the words that are in here, I guarantee you they didn't have at the time. Language evolved as well over the last 6,000 years. So, and of course, one should, I think that there's no way you'll ever be able to understand, right, man, the species in its whole, right, or yourself even, if you're just want to believe in a very archaic way in science. And that is that. Because I tell you one thing, when I first, well, as a child, you grew up with, and when I was growing up, the idea that man is a descendant from the ape was a very big thing. And then, they showed the pictures on how, yeah, and then again, right, as I evolved spiritually and physically, I'm already, okay, you grow, right? So that's not evolving anymore. Spiritually, we're all still evolving, right? But as I got older and I thought and going, well, that's interesting. Then if that were true, we still have the exact same apes here. Why aren't they evolving anymore? Why? Right? When did that stop? And if that was a natural occurring thing among animal life, and then the species man grew out of that, why is it not still happening? Yeah, it's kind of a simple, right, little, what do you believe out there? Nilly willy. And then on the just, if you just believe that the earth is only 6,000 years old, and human life just started in 6,000 years ago, and are kind of ignorant of the evolutionary process, right? Which is in the Bible too. The 6 days of creation are exactly like different words and stuff, right? But it's exactly like the six periods of evolution. So that's a bit too much of a coincidence. Anywho, right? So you're never going to 100% ever get to a satisfactory answer, or what is the existence of man, the species of man, the whole world and everything, if you disregard either one, either the physical happenings in a way that things work. If you disregard that, that's probably not going to be very good. And if you disregard any kind of spiritual guidance, which is religion, I'm not saying they're good. I mean that all of it is good, but not all of it is bad either. Okay? Most of it actually is good. What are you going to do if there's people out there who use that to their advantage? As I said, how many little groups are out there who somehow, some dude, some woman, they're crazier than hell. Okay? That's what they are. Crazier than hell. Right? And who knows how they got there, but they did. And somehow they also have that charisma to pull people in into some kind of crazy way to believe in certain things. Right? Yes? Yeah. Well, anyway. Sometimes they're not just little groups. The church that the church that I'm still associated, I still believe in it and all that. I've had some questions. Do you know I've never really got an answer to my question? At least one that I would accept. Never. And really, when it comes down to it, with many things that have happened in religions all around the world, it would just take, yep, that was absolutely wrong. That is absolutely wrong, right? We can go as far back as the Israelites calling the Romans and anyone who wasn't an Israelite a Gentile, right? That was wrong. Should not have done that. Right? Then there are now religions in the world too. Right? I find it awfully offensive to be called an infidel. Right? Yes, very much so. And I think if the religion's good, right? How about the Christians? What in the name of the Lord has been done here, right, to many of the Indian tribes here, the Native Americans and the children? Absolutely wrong. Horrific. Just wrong. Huh? Just wrong. And one can't just acknowledge that and say, man, that was so wrong. Yeah, I didn't do it. I didn't do it, but can't we as Christians just say that was wrong and we should apologize? I'm sorry. I'm sorry that ancestors of ours, or people that had the same religion as we do now, did things like that. Awful things in the name of God. Huh? Yes? All right. What did that just say? Are we evolving when it comes to religion? I hope we do. How about India? You still have the caste system there? It's not something to be proud of, huh? I could mention some more, right? More things, but just a few. I mentioned my own too. Okay, so don't get offended out there. Again, what's there offensive about telling the truth? Do we want to keep lying about how great we are? But really, when it comes down to it, there are so many things from our ancestors we should, even now, people now, yeah, we should try and just make right somehow, huh? I find it amazing when someone really truly actually recognizes a wrong and then says, I got to go and fix this. I've got to apologize for that to start with. I said, I can't go back in the past and stop every monk and nun or whatever they were abusing these American native children and whole tribes, right? And had the, what, just about military forces behind them to do so. But I can acknowledge that that was evil. That nothing to do with good and had nothing to do with getting people on the side of God or teach them about God. That's not teaching God. That's abusing God. Eh? Yeah. And God's hard to mind for everyone. Well, anyway, here I go. Oh, I could talk about this for hours now. But I'm not going to do that. It's getting light out there. Jake's looking at me as if, hey, Bo's not here. His buddy ain't here. Huh? He's kind of a little lost. He says, I'm bored. I can't go for my run without my buddy, huh? Can you? Don't you get up here. No, no, no. He wants to, he gets plumb up in my lap. No, no, you're too heavy. Huh? I'll hurt my legs. Yeah, I love you too. I'm going to fix something to eat for the crew here now. God's love and blessings always, and we'll talk to y'all another time.